At this time, I'll welcome Mayor Brian Wyndham. He was elected November of 2011. Brian serves as the city's chief executive. Previously served on the Clay County Clay County and Brazil Redevelopment Commission. Also as the Clay County Councilman at Large. He is a lifelong resident of Clay County, along with his wife Connie of 34 years and son Roy. Mayor Wyndham.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate the opportunity to come out here today to share some information with you and how great a job the Chamber has done here in our community, and it don't go unappreciated. I would like to say I've had the opportunity to get to know Mike Hagelmeyer down at the Brazil Housing Authority, and I'll tell you, him and his crew do a great job down there, and we appreciate it, Mike. Well, hopefully here today I've got some good information to pass along with you. First of all, the way I'd like to do this format, we have several departments that we work with within the city, and I'll kind of go through each one of those and highlight a couple things on what they've been doing and maybe even some projects that's coming about. First of all, I got to be able to see, but our street department had a pretty busy year in 2015. A lot of things going on there. To give you a little idea of what we do out there, in the spring we started obviously filling potholes and used 25 tons of cold patch to do that. The dirt patcher, we had it out, used 16,000 gallons of oil and 100 tons of gravel to fill potholes. That's something I hope we can see. That's a piece of machinery I'd like to see us sell at some point. And that would tell us at that time we're not out there fixing potholes. And we're really working hard towards that. Also, our street department took on the responsibility of mowing Restlawn Cemetery and Bay Wheeler Park, and we purchased a new Dixie chopper to do that. These are also going to be used on pieces of property that we're now owned through the city through the blight elimination program that we'll be required to take care of at that point. If anyone's been out to Restlawn, I would like you to notice that guys spent a lot of work out there. There are brick streets or roads throughout that cemetery that had grown over with probably 4 to 5 inches of dirt and sod, which they removed all that, and they've got it very nice looking out there, and they're to be commended for that. Another thing that we'll probably touch on is obviously the Highway 40 project. The good folks at NDOT will be, they've got that going for us. They'll be starting back in April 1st, and it looks like that, I think they're on schedule, and we ought to see a completion of that at the end of next year if we have a decent construction season as far as weather goes. I would like to mention, as most of you probably know, that project started actually on the books in 1996 during Mayor Crabb's term, and Kenny, we appreciate that, and I know it's been a long time coming, but we're going to get there with it, and thank you for everything you've done on helping spearhead that. So it's going to start at 59 and run on east out to 40, or east on 40 out to Bell Street, basically at Riddell Bank, and we're looking forward to see that. We've had a bit of a snapshot on what that's going to look like in the west end of town, and it's certainly great to get that, and it's great that NDOT stuck with that so long in order to make that happen, and that's good to see. In the park department, there's been a few changes over at the park. We have a new park superintendent. That's Anthony Moon. He's doing a great job over there. They've already purchased some ADA compliant equipment that's made it better to serve a more diverse role in the community recreation over there. There's some projects that will be completed that was started by the prior park members of the prior park board, which was the tennis courts being resurfaced, the pickleball courts being installed, and I think shuffleboard has been added to that too. So it's important to keep those recreation facilities in good working order, and they're doing a good job of doing that. There's been a number of hazardous trees removed from the park to provide a safer environment. That's something we always got to be doing, is looking at trees that need to be removed, and then also planting new trees. So we kind of stay with that. And I think you'll see our parks be in an improving condition as time goes on. As most of you know, out at Craig Park, there are plans, and it's actually, they broke ground and are building out there a girls softball diamond out there. So we look forward to seeing that also. In our wastewater department, under the guidance of Billy Goodrich and his team, we've been pretty busy there. We've done a lot of storm sewer work, which was in dire needs of repair and replacement. I won't go through each and every identified area we did, but I can tell you this. In storm sewers, and this was done by our department, we've done 2,622 total feet of storm sewer, along with 18 catch basins replaced. And a lot of that work you may have seen was done up on the north side of Brazil, where we had a lot of flooding occur at that time. The sanitary sewers, there again, we've been working on those diligently. We've done over 3,000 feet of new sanitary sewer, along with 8 manholes that was installed in that. I've mentioned this before when we got together on our utilities. Our sanitary situation is we were getting a lot of I&I and things into it, and they've done a great job of identifying that, getting that slowed down, because I know sometimes it's hard to relate that to growth, but it has a direct relationship with the growth of our community. You know, pipes are so big, they only hold so much. So stuff that shouldn't be in there, we need to remove. We want to be able, if there is growth in the community or things come about, we want to be able to accommodate them, and that's something we're looking at, and we'll be ready for it when it happens. So good job, Billy. Also, we've done replacement of lift stations down at I-70 and other things out the plant that he keeps upgrading in order to have a good compliant system there. In our water department, that's been something that it's been quite a challenge for us. As I reported last time, we had a lot of unaccounted for water loss. You know, when you're pumping around 95 million gallon a month and you're billing for $28 million a month, that tells you got an issue. And what we went out and we've searched a lot of these places out, and it's literally broken lines, ruptures and things like that. We're losing all that water. And also it kind of gets into a regulatory situation too. You know, you get up there so high on that water loss, they're going to come knocking at our door and they want this fixed. So I am happy to report that we were looking at about, a 70% unaccounted for water loss due to identifying these problems and fixing them. Right now in 2015, we're at 56%. So that's pretty good, because some of the unaccounted for loss we can account for, the irrigation system maybe at the golf course and other entities like that really don't create a water bill. So we're gaining ground on that. As you well know, our infrastructure is aged, and we're trying to start more, not just a line repair situation, but a line replacement program. That's the direction we need to head. We just can't keep putting Band-Aids on this and passing it down the road. So I think you'll see some really nice capital improvement projects that we got on board with our utility department as a whole. Also, I do want to mention, as far as the water department goes, we are now came into the 21st century where you can go online and pay your bill. So everybody, we're trying to make it as convenient as possible for you to pay your bill. But that's nice to do that sort of thing. The water treatment plant. I just want to kind of share with you, we have 5 functioning wells that draws a supply to furnish water for Brazil, Centerpoint, Carbon, Harmony, Knightsville, and those entities around us. We pump, depending on usage, 1.5 million to 2.5 million gallons of water a day. So it's very important that we keep that plant up in good running order. We flow test each well annually in order to monitor these pumps and motors so that everything's in good working order. And so we do keep a very watchful eye on that. It's not only Brazil we furnish water to, but the outlying communities too. We have that responsibility to furnish safe drinking water. Another department which has been really busy this year is our planning and zoning. A lot of things going on there. Some good things to share with you. We had, of course, maintenance liens. That money that we collect there goes into the unsafe building funds, which was $38,000. We issued 177 permits. The total value of the permits, this is a good number, was over $24 million. So that tells you how much construction and things that got permits for last year. That's good to see. And, you know, there's various, the FEMA project with the flood program, phase 1 and phase 2, have been closed out. Fortunately, there is a phase 3 that looks like that will come about, and we're staying on top of that. If you may have noticed, there's new stop signs out there, the directional signs through that particular grant have been finished up, and they've got those in place. Let's see what else we got going on there. Our blight elimination program. That's the one where we did receive a grant made available to us for $215,000. That money's to be used to get rid of some of these blighted houses. One thing we've done there, and unfortunately Brazil City has a great working relationship with our county. And in going and asking the county commissioners, they did deed over to us a lot of those homes that were on the commissioner's sale. Once we get the deed in Brazil's name and everything, then we're allowed to go in and remove those houses with this blight elimination money. And I want to thank them guys for working with us on that. That's such a big help to have that kind of relationship with our county officials. The downtown revitalization planning grant is moving forward at $36,000 and will begin in the next few weeks and be completed in May of 2016. That's a grant that the money is spent to basically see what it would take in order to reface some of these buildings in the downtown buildings, and then there's grants that we can apply for that go on past that through Okra. I think it's $400,000 in the Teresa that by doing this one, we'll able to apply for that one. Something new that's kind of going on across the nation actually is bike routes. And you know, I know it don't seem like a big deal, but trust me, it is, and for several reasons. This US 50 bike route that needs to go across Indiana, and a lot of it's completed, through West Central Development, we have identified and established a route through Brazil that will be an identified route and be part of this route across the nation. Now, I know it's US 50 bike route going down US 40, but it is what it is. But there's a reason I think it's important to do those kind of things, because that's what attracts people anymore to your communities, is recreational type things such as that, and there's a trend of that going across the nation, so we certainly want to pursue that and be part of that bike route, and be nice to even get like a trailhead here or something of that nature. We'll move on to the fire department. A lot of good things going on there, and honestly, folks, I'm touching on one or two things on each department, but trust me, I could spend a half an hour on speaking on each one of these departments. They got a lot going on and are doing some great things. Our fire department was the first full year in 2015 for their basic life support non-transport service. This is a service that is qualified emergency medical response program that supports the pre-hospital care provided to the Brazil City and Brazil Township in our industrial park. The firefighters are dispatched now in a coordination with the county ambulance service to provide an additional layer of care to our citizens during serious medical emergencies. And all our firefighters now are certified EMTs. And in talking with our chief the other day, and this is the kind of people we got running these departments. Our chief and our fire department is not obligated to provide that service. They took it upon themselves to get trained, and our chief implemented this program to train these firefighters to provide that additional layer of service. And that's done for the citizens and people in this community to provide that. And it's really commendable that, like I say, that's not something we're required to do, but we're willing to do. Firefighters have conducted a lot of youth safety presentations. We reached between 500 and 600 preschoolers with our fire safety program. We received a $2,000 fire prevention activities grant from Walmart Foundation for smoke detectors. One thing we always we do watch our payroll and things. We've decreased the cost our overtime by 16%, and something they should be proud of, and I hope you're as proud of them as I am. The department received 2015 runner-up Leadership in Fitness Excellence Award. That was done at the Indiana Emergency Response Conference Banquet in Indianapolis, and this award recognizes departments with long-standing efforts to improve health and welfare of personnel. So good job, guys. That's good to see that happen. And sticking with public safety, we'll move on to our police department. As some of you may have seen recently, it's been something we worked on for quite some time, and that's a combined central dispatch system here with the county and the city. We finally got that contract done, and it's now in place. There's still a few bugs I think we're working out with it. You know, our police department dispatch received on the average around 6,000 calls, and we also implemented an in-car camera system for all our patrol cars. Our annual Shop with the Cop program raised over $16,000. That speaks a lot about the people we have here. So we're trying to maintain and keep the dispatch system. Basically, the whole idea of that is, I think you're going to find it'll streamline the response time. You'll get there quicker because calls are not being relayed from department to department. So we look forward to see how that works out. We also obtained body cameras for all our patrol officers. In this day and age, it's just something now we feel like that is a necessity, so they all are equipped with that. We have 13 officers now on board. So the police department also, we're trying to keep things updated, keep good equipment for them, and keep them in a safe working environment. But those are some of the things in departments that's going on. I would like to share with you briefly some things in general that's going on here in Brazil. Number one being, we do have two assisted living care facilities, as you well know, being built as we speak. Village of Hollybrook is out on the west end of town, and on the east end, out there, basically it's on the campus of the Exceptional Living Center, is another one being built. I think, if I got that right, they're calling that Town Park, and I believe it's going to be completed around the end of March, which is pretty quick. Very nice facilities, both of them, and I think you'll see offshoots prosper off of those too. You know, they're probably looking at a combined payroll between those two of maybe close to $2 million. So that's a added boost, along with the fact of, you know, we're probably looking at 80 to 90 employees between both, and those are full-time jobs. One of the biggest things that happened in Brazil, but I think kind of slid under the radar, is, and I call it growth, but it's a different type of growth than a lot of us think about. We growed in acreage quite a bit. We were done an annexation of, I think it was 84 acres. It's down on the southeast corner of the city limits. It's called Williams Woods. It was, some of you may know as the old Chapman property. That is now part of Brazil city limits, and basically it's a area that's being developed for housing. And it's going to be really nice. There's some beautiful property down there. And there again, I think that's something that can attract people to our community. We've probably had around $9 million in tax abatements this year in the city. So that tells you there again, there's been that much money reinvested by business and industry and things going on there. We have some great leadership in our industrial places around Brazil and the surrounding communities. These folks have done a great job of, keeping things going. We've got one thing we're blessed with, guys, is we're blessed with jobs and careers. And there's training programs and things that these companies are doing themselves in order to promote people to stay. And like I say, that's one thing that's kind of happening different here. That's why we need to do these bike trails and the newer type activities that a lot of the millennials enjoy. And talking to Ron Hensenkamp last night over at a meeting, and he talked about this, and I agree with you. It used to be people got a job and they moved to your community. That's not what's happening now. They're moving to a community because they want to live there, then they look for a job. And that's why we want our community to be in a position to be very attractive to those type of folks. And that's really what's kind of going on right now. So we want to recognize that. Another person, I do want to thank a few people. There's so many people involved in so much that goes on here. But some of our unsung heroes is people that serve on different boards that we have and things. And these aren't compensated jobs. We've got a golf board over there that has done a great job with our golf course over there. We have planning and zoning. They have different committees, different boards that we need to fill. And there's always good people stepping up that's willing to spend their time to do those sort of things. And just like the chamber and members of the chamber, when I'm a big believer, that's our most important asset, is our time. And when you find a group of people like we have here today that's willing to give that, that's a big deal. And it speaks volumes about the people in your community. So I want you to know that don't go unrecognized. We do have a lot of new members on our county council or city council this year. I'm looking forward to working with them. There's been some good accomplishments by past members, and our present members will, I think you're going to see them do a great job, and we appreciate them stepping up and taking those positions. I'll get this closed for you now, and I'm going to take this opportunity, probably shouldn't, to let you know a little bit about myself. And I want to recognize somebody that's here today. That's my mom. I know it's hard to see if she's standing up or sitting down, but she was standing up right there. But me and my three brothers were raised in a family that we were exposed to core values. And we were so fortunate to have that. Because that's something sometimes I feel like is missing in our society. And not only core values, but always inspiration to, take on challenges. And that's hard to replace. And I appreciate that. My brothers, we've always supported each other in everything we've done. And probably, maybe most importantly, I'm going to correct Nick. It's been 36 years with that young lady over there, and she's very special and been very good to me, and I thank you, Connie. Actually, in closing, it's a little bit about, it relates to family and relates to our city. I look at our city as a family. Because since being mayor, one thing I have been able to recognize and see, as a city and as a community, we celebrate things together. And there's times we disagree with issues or situations, so we debate things. And there's times that, unfortunately, we mourn. But the important thing is here, we do it together. And I hope the rest of you can see that like I do. Because it's so refreshing to see that this is a tight-knit community. You know, we see each other. It's not like, I don't feel like there's a disconnect. So we do operate as a family, and we do all those things together. And I want to thank everyone for making my job so easy with the support that you gave me in this venture. And we hope to continue to serve you well. Thank you.